jer muslimanski narod ne može da se odbrani ako bude rat ovdje.
The Srebrenica genocide stands as one of the worst episodes of ethnic cleansing in Europe after the Second World War. Over 5 days, 8,000 unarmed Bosnian Muslim men and boys were massacred by the Bosnian Serb military forces, while thousands of women were raped. But the story of the mass murders and persecution of Bosnian Muslims does not begin here. After the breakup of Yugoslavia, military conflict quickly erupted, first in Slovenia and Croatia, and finally Bosnia. And while there were losses on all fronts, Bosnian Muslims seemed to pay the highest price. Only a month after the Bosnian Declaration of Independence in March 1992, a Serbia-based paramilitary group attacked the city of Bijeljina, slaughtering between 48 and 78 non-Serb civilians in a single day. This was the beginning of what would become 4 years of killing, persecution, and rape. Soon after, other towns along the Serbian border started to share the same fate. Between May and August 1992, in the city of Prijedor, over 3,100 non-Serb civilians were massacred, the majority of them Muslims. When the massacres began in other cities on the border with Serbia, it was clear that the aim was to ethnically cleanse the region from the Muslim population. In the city of Visegrad, between April and August of the same year, another 3,000 Bosnian Muslims were killed, 70 of them locked up and burned alive in a local house. Concentration camps began to appear. A hotel near the city was used as a brothel camp, where women and girls as young as 7 were continuously raped, some for over 8 months. By the end of 1992, there were close to another 3,000 victims in the cities of Zvornik, Vlasenica, and Tuzla. The massacres that happened in the city of Foča, with 2,074 Muslim victims, paved the way to what was to eventually take place in Srebrenica in 1995. The UN safe zone of Srebrenica, where over 8,300 people were murdered, was the last city of eastern Bosnia from which the Muslim population was purged. Along with the Markale massacres in Sarajevo, they became the 2 main reasons that the international forces stepped in and began the peace process. By the end of the war, over 64,000 Bosnian Muslims were killed, half of them civilians. Around 50,000 women and girls were raped. Thousands were forced to leave their homes, the majority of whom never returned. The last population census from 2013 showed that the Muslim population in the eastern and northern part of Bosnia had decreased between 50 to 100%. The peace treaty signed in Dayton in 1995 ended the war, but also created the Republika Srpska, whose borders were drawn around the mass murders. The Srebrenica massacre was ruled as genocide by the International Court of Justice, but the other slaughters of the Muslim population in Bosnia haven't been classified the same. Many of those who committed or were directly involved in the murders and rapes of Bosnian Muslims have not yet been prosecuted, and Bosnian Muslims say there is still no justice.